And we're back once again, only on Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel. Now, joining me here on the line, this man will be, well, he's going, him from Boston Strong, but now he's going to be taking his act across the pond as he'll be fighting at UFC Fight Night Blades, Aspinall at the O2 Arena in London, England. And, well, he's planning to make it a bad day for all the local fans when he takes on Nathaniel Wood. I give you once again Boston Strong himself. I give you Charles Rosa. Charles, so once again, you get to cross out something on your bucket list. You get to fly all the way over to the UK, fight in the O2 Arena. Big UK fan, UK crowd. I mean, how nice is it when you're doing these kind of things? You're still, you're fighting, basically doing a job you love, and you get to fight in some place where I'm guessing, as a kid, you thought, yeah, I'm never gonna fight in London. And all of a sudden, yeah, now I'm fighting in London.
No, 100%. I mean, these are all the things I love doing. I love traveling. I love fighting, and I love putting on a show for the fans. So, I love entertaining. So these are the three things I get to do, and my three favorite things in the world. And then also, cooking and culinary. But I'll be able to get to try some new food after my fight there. So I'm pretty excited for the event to be back in front of fans. It's my first time in my last 6 fights of fighting in front of fans, besides a couple dozen at the Apex, but it's not really the same thing. So before the pandemic happened and all this stuff, like every time I ever lost in the UFC was a fight of the night or a win. So I definitely feel like I show up and show out better with the fans, and I feed off the energy, whether it's good or bad. I fought in Mexico City against Yair Rodriguez, fought in Stockholm, Sweden against Dennis Siver, got fight of the night in both those fights, and I've also fought in New York against Shane Burgos, all fight of the night fights. And, me being the villain coming in, Boston kid going to New York against Shane Burgos, United States kid versus Mexican coming into Mexico City. And then, obviously an American coming in to, fight the European champ, Dennis Siver. So, I mean, this was, this is what I love to do. I love fighting. So I'm excited to go over to London and, start off with a bang.
Now, before we get to the fight, I got to ask, how many people have been now coming up with woodwork, like family members, girlfriend, best friends going, hey, Charles, we'd love to go to England. Can you get us next ticket? Can we come over? Hell, we'll be in the corner. We can be part of a traveling team here. I mean, I'm guessing like 10, 20 people said, hey, Charles, can you take us to London with you? Can you get us on board for free?
There's some people coming. I'm bringing a little entourage. So, I got my little brother, Lucas Rosa, Lucas, the King of Monsters Rosa. He's a undefeated amateur right now. So, I like to have him there with me. I got to obviously get my 3 cornermen, Gregory Choplin. He's a Muay Thai world champion. Charles McCarthy, UFC veteran, and Matt Waggy, was my right-hand man since day one, since I was an amateur fighter. So, I got a whole crew with me, and I'm bringing the entourage. So, I'm not coming without an army to London. You know what I'm saying?
So take us to Nathaniel Wood. What does he bring to the table, and how does he compare to, let's say, the last 3 or 4 guys you faced?
Yeah, I mean, it's a much different matchup. The last 3 or 4 guys I've faced have all been good wrestlers, grapplers. Nathan, and they've all, been good size. Damon Jackson, big, tall guy. TJ Brown, I did fight him on 2 days' notice. So, that's a fight I would definitely like to have back. I literally took the fight on 2 days' notice to save the show and, get a new UFC contract. And, it's definitely, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but you can't take, if you take anybody in the world and you put them in on 2 days' notice, it's obviously not going to be the same fight as even if you had a week or so just to get ready. Before I knew it, I was cutting weight within, minutes of finding out about the fight. And it wasn't, didn't really have any strategy or game plan or anything to sharpen up. I mean, I'm always in shape, but there's, a difference in the timing and the perfect parts of it. But either way, I think, man, I'm super excited. I think Nathaniel Wood's a tough guy, but he's a little bit shorter. He's coming up a weight class with the bigger boys, so he's gonna find out what it's all about. And, I'm probably gonna send him back down to bantamweight after I knock him out.
Let's talk about the one advantage he does have, though. It's a hometown fight. He can just basically roll out of bed, drive down to the O2 Arena, and fight. You get to fly all the way over from Boston to London. 5-hour time zone difference. So basically, 9 o'clock our time, it's like 1 a.m. their time. It's a bitch to do. I mean, when do you start going, okay, I gotta start, prepping for sleep for, this is when I'm gonna be fighting. This is when, what time it's gonna be. So you're not going in there like, all right, I'm ready. All of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm tired. Oh crap, the fight hasn't even started yet, but it only says 6 a.m., but it's like 11 p.m. my time.
Yeah, this is all mental, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get that stuff get in your head, it was the same thing when I fought in Mexico City. They told me, "Oh, what about the elevation? This, all these different things." And you know what, man? Like, I was ready for that. I put on one of the best fights of, the career, and I fought the distance, got fight of the night. Like, I think that, I don't think that's gonna affect me. It's a 4 or 5, it's like a 5 or 6 hour flight over to London. That's the same flight, if I was going to Las Vegas in California where my last 6 fights were. So there's also a 3 hour time zone difference in Vegas. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, I'm going to go there. I could fight him at 6 in the morning in a parking lot in a parking lot at a grocery store. I could fight him at the O2 Arena in London time. It doesn't make a difference, where it is, anytime, anywhere. I'm that type of fighter, anywhere, any type of fighter. And, I've always been that way. So, like I said, it doesn't matter the time of day. I mean, I'm always ready to scrap. And, as far as like the preparation for it, man, I'm going to prepare for it like I always do, normal fight. And, I'll be ready.
It's one of the things that I want to ask is, how do you keep a positive mentality when it's been 2 back-to-back losses? And I'm guessing that eats at you, because any fighter I know, every fight they look and go, could have done this better, should have done this. Why did I lose this fight? Why didn't I get the takedown? Why couldn't I stop this here? For you, it's been 2 back-to-back losses. How do you keep the positive mentality when inside you're probably going, how the bleep did I lose to freaking Damon Jackson? How did I let TJ Brown take me down? What the bleep was I
Well,
thinking in round 3?
yeah, I mean, I don't really think I've ever lost a fight ever in my career. I mean, I think the way I look at fighting is, fight to the death. And every single fight I've ever fought, I've been on my feet, standing over the guy, punching him. So it's like you can say, obviously, I got to change my strategy a little bit. I can't just go out. I've been training my last couple fights more like a kind of like marathon. If every fight was to the death, I would win every single fight, no doubt in my mind. Nobody can put me away, nobody can finish me, nobody has finished me. It's just sometimes I fight this long, drawn out, slow pace, and not slow pace, but I fight like a defensive pace, and then before you know it, the 15 minutes is up, and I'm like still got more in the tank, and I'm like, oh man, so I got to start fighting these fights like a sprint instead of fighting them like a marathon, because it's 15 minutes of as hard as you can, and the fight's over. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me is I don't really feel ever defeated. I feel like if I got knocked out or submitted or something like that ever happened, like you could say whatever, and you could say, oh well, what about the one fight against Shane Burgos? That's the one in my entire career. It's the one time I've been finished technically on paper. But go back and watch that fight. I won the first 2 rounds. Third round hit me with a good shot. Stood back up. Was swinging back and forth, and the ref jumped in while I'm on my feet in the UFC fight. Like who jumps in and stops a fight when the guy's still standing on his feet? Like I looked right at him. I go, what are you doing? The second he stopped, he's like, oh sorry, I thought you were hurt. Yeah, well, sorry doesn't doesn't let me continue the fight. He stopped the fight prematurely and ended up costing me, one of the biggest fights of my career. Who, Shane Burgos is top 10 in the world right now, and it's a guy that I basically had, I had him beat, and he like I said, and the ref kind of jumped in, and I was a little bit upset about it, but besides, I don't feel like I lost. I feel like just because a jumped in or whatever, and say what you want, but all these fights, man, they're all fights that I know I can beat. I don't ever feel like I've been outclassed or they're all anyone better than me, and maybe my strategy was bad. Like a couple of them, like when I fought Bryce Mitchell, I think I just had a bad strategy. I honestly believed I was going to submit him, and then 15 minutes went by and like didn't get a submission, and I'm like, damn, like. And it's the way it is, but it's just more my strategy. So that's something I fixed up on. I got a new strength and conditioning coach at IHP Institute for Human Performance, working with JC Santana. So changing my strategy rather from being like, a long distance runner more to a sprinter. I'm going to come out hard, come out strong, and I'm coming out to put them away. And I got 15 minutes to do it.
Take me to a little bit of a Titan FC grappling match, because I've been dying to ask you this, because a lot of guys I talk to, whether it's guys like Jake Shields, Brent Primus, even Jake Smith and Bellator, they always say MMA is our business. Grappling is our passion. They can do it forever because it's just grappling. You did a recent grappling match. It was outside of UFC, so I'm guessing they gave you permission.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? And what is it about grappling that you were like, oh, I don't care if I'm getting paid. I just want to grapple.
Yeah, no, I trained 4 times that day. Like I said, I'm an anywhere, anytime type of fighter. I knew a lot of the fighters on the card. They had only 4. They ended up having 8 bouts to start it off, And, I worked for Titan for years commentating because that's one of my other gigs. I do commentating. Fortunately, I wasn't commentating that night. So and I was free, but I trained 4 times that day. I did jiu-jitsu, wrestling, strength conditioning. And then I was also doing another class, and they called me up and they said, Lex called me, the president of Titan FC, and was like, "Hey, Charles, man, I got something to ask you." I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Man, like, we're going to have to cancel the card if we can't get somebody in this grappling match. Do you know anybody?" And I'm like, "Well, fuck." I'm like, "I'll do it." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "What do you mean? Oh, you'll do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, and my buddy Dean Barry from Ireland ended up getting kidney stones and had to pull out of the fight. He was supposed to fight a black belt in jiu-jitsu from Brazil, like a really good guy. And dude, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll hop in, I'll save the show. Cause not only was I going to get, a little bit of money, which, I don't always, obviously I fight now for the money cause it's my job. They gave me some money. If I get a chance to do that, it's something I do every day. If I get to go roll and do jiu-jitsu every day. So if you're going to give me a good chunk of cash to go do it, what I would have been doing anyways, and I was doing all day, I mean, I was pumped. So, I saved the show, saved the other 4 fights, saved the other 8 fighters from, having to let down their fans, and save the show, and was able to hop in and do a grapple match, and I absolutely dominated. So it was also got the nerves out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm anywhere, anytime type of fighter. If I could have fought the kid, I would have fought him, but obviously I have a UFC contract, so that's not how it works. You can't take an MMA fight, but fortunately I took a grappling match, and it was pretty cool because there was like fans there. Like I said, I haven't fought in front of a lot of fans, and there was a lot of fans there. Fought in front of them, had the whole feeling, just, couldn't throw the hands and the strikes, but it felt good. I dominated a good black belt on the ground, and it felt like it really felt like a real fight. The next day I was like, man, I'm sore, like my body hurts. It was like it felt like a real fight. Didn't feel much different. I mean, the kid I went against, he was primed for a fight. He was supposed to fight Dean Barry, whose last fight was in the UFC. So this kid was ready, and was also up weight class at 155. So luckily I didn't have to like weigh in and make weight. I just was able to show up and fight him. But it was a pretty awesome event. Good experience.
So before we let you go, because we're pressed for time, you get a lot of things going on with your upcoming fight. Why do you love it so much? I mean, because for most people, like, oh man, you already are getting, punished in the UFC. You're fighting on, in a couple of weeks, in a month here. There's no pay. You're taking on a guy who's 5'11", weighs in at 155, which means he's probably cutting from about 170 pounds, maybe 180.
Yeah.
You're grappling, basically can't throw strikes, can't throw kicks. Like for you, why was it so fun that you went, you know what? Screw this. I'm having a ball. I'm going to do this here. I don't care about the pay because I want to sign up for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love to do. I fought 20 amateur fights for free because I love it. I actually had to pay for some of them. I had to pay for gas to go travel to Tennessee, go travel to Atlanta, Georgia, driving all over the country just to get fights. I'd have to pay for my blood work when I had no money. Like there was a time when I only had a bicycle. I didn't even have a car. So my coaches would have to be driving me to these fights in other countries, and not other countries, other states throughout the U.S. and just to find fights. And I'd have to pay for the blood work with money I didn't even have. Like have to, I used to have to pay to fight. I used to do my first 20 fights, and to be able to do what I love to do, and that's not going to change. It's not going to change after my UFC career. My uncle Tom the Bomb Rosa, he's a tough man. Champion. Has over 200 boxing matches, man, and somebody I look up to since I was a kid, man. And he's in his 50s, and he's still fighting. And he's still winning tournaments all over the country. And he actually just won the Masters division a couple months ago, and won a championship belt for his age group and in boxing in the United States. So, man, I just that's something that I love to do. And I'm saying it doesn't matter if I'm fighting in a gymnasium with 20 people watching, or if I'm fighting in a parking lot like a Kimbo Slice style fight, which I've done those type of style fights, or if I'm fighting in front of the O2 Arena in London, England, in front of 20,000 fans. I mean, this is what I love to do. I'm a fighter, anywhere, anytime type of guy. So, unfortunately for Nathaniel Wood, I'm coming to his hometown. I'm going to take the throne. I'm going to be king of England, and I'm going to take him out.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are proud to have on the show. I give you it's Boston Strong himself fighting on July 23rd at UFC Fight Night in London. I give you Charles Rosa. Charles, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is, once again, the Twitter page, Instagram, website, and who are the sponsors who've been helping you out for this fight coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody can find me at Charles Rosa MMA. You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, got TikTok. I got everything. So, just type in my name, you'll find me. Got the blue check mark. So, easy to find. And man, definitely tune in, support me at UFC London, July 23rd. I take on Nathaniel Wood, watch me knock his ass out, and then fly home with the bag of money. So I'm really excited for this opportunity to be back fighting in front of the fans. So as far as my sponsors, I just want to thank everybody that supports me. I got Garden of Life, I got Acupuncture Zen. They help keep my body healthy. Dr. Jared Hoffman, he's a chiropractor that also keeps my body in check. And everybody that supported my career throughout it. I was sure I'm missing so many of you, but thank you so much. And also Reds up in Seabrook, New Hampshire. They're somebody that supports me, local business, awesome food up there. So whenever I go up there, I can recharge and get some good food back in me. But all these people have helped me so much through my career, and I really appreciate them. And this is what it takes. It takes a whole team of people, to make a champion. So that's what I'm working towards. So I'm looking forward to becoming the champion of the UFC, and it's going to start July 23rd in London.
Charles Rosa, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always an honor, pleasure having on the show. While we come back, stay tuned for more great action coming up only on its Last Call. Last Call, without the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.